in this game because they actually chose to have the red side in the last one. So when it came back to them, they were able to lock up Thresh and Orianna in that game. But they don't necessarily have that luxury right now. They pretty much, sorry, Twitch and Orianna. They'd have to first pick Twitch if they want to keep it out of the hands of Ray Deer, because he's a very deadly Twitch as well. I can't wait to see this pick and ban unfold.
So Twisted Fate has been banned out, as well as Shen, so they'd have been kind of the standard staple bans. Evelyn being taken away from Aluna. They really don't want to let him have that one. And again, same turns in terms of jungler, Elise taken away from Alicia.
Yeah, they're just...
These are the same bans as the start. Yeah, same bans as game one.
And then there's also there was the Gragas ban in the last game, and then also Zac. And I wonder if the Zac could definitely be a first pick, which would give, since Immunity has already banned even Shen, they're guaranteeing that unless they pick something away, Mazarin will have his choice of Gragas or Orianna this time.
Well, they banned out, which means, like you say, I wonder what they're going to go with the first pick, because Immunity first picked Jarvan last time around, and it worked, so it just didn't work for Alicia.
Really.
Because, I mean, obviously, he got set back right from the beginning. It was effectively a level 2 engage that kind of ended his attack, and Immunity taking a long time to think about that one. They went with Lee Sin as the final ban.
Yeah, so I like that choice because they can get rid of the Lee Sin early on. They didn't do anything to Mazarin by banning Gragas because he just picked Orianna. Giving up Zac might be a little bit scared for them. He's definitely came in huge. I know he had an amazing showing for KT Roaster B when Insect played him over in their semifinal in that league, and he's been dominating this international wildcard tournament as well. So it could be MBS, it could be Aluna in the jungle, but it looks like that would be a crazy straight away Tryndamere pick. Yeah, I don't think so. They're going to be waiting. It could be Jarvan again though for Alicia. Wasn't entirely unsuccessful for them. Obviously, he's got set back right at the start, but you got to think a lot of the attacks, a lot of the engagements when they caught MBS out finally at the red buff, that was all down to Alicia as a play. And as far as wanting to be an aggressive jungler, Jarvan allows you to do that. He can jump on pretty much anyone he wants in any team fight. And this time, they've made sure to go ahead and deny the Lee Sin from a Lunar. So even though it didn't work last game, it doesn't mean it can't work in the next one, and I do think it's still a smart pick for them. However, it leaves a Twitch open if Gaming Gear wants to pick it yet again, and I'd expect them to go for it.
Yeah, and also let's talk about Rosie's Zyra, because Rosie had Zyra yesterday in the round robins, ended up with a Morellonomicon. Oh, Lulu locked in. This is going to be AD Lulu in the mid lane, ladies and gentlemen. Heavens will be playing that.
Yeah, I don't normally kind of jump up and as we're going right to the Zyra pick, but that's something we've been waiting to see for a while. Because coming into this tournament, Heavens actually played Lulu in their last qualifying game in Oceania. AD Lulu mid lane, it's something he is known for, and this game could not mean more for Team Immunity right now. They lose this, and they are out of the tournament. No chance at Worlds. It's not like this is some random strategy he's just trying to pull out. Like, this is their best strategy as far as they're concerned, and I can't wait to see that going up against Orianna.
And it's interesting because it will take a while to get going, especially against Orianna.
AD Lulu is something that we have not seen in forever. I'm actually not familiar with exactly how he builds this Lulu, and I'll have to track it during the game. I'm gonna check his runes.
Well, you do that. We'll look at the other picks, of course. It is going to be actually Xin Zhao in the jungle, and Thresh getting locked in. Thresh, can you believe it, made it through to the 9th pick there, finally getting locked in. They did hover over Mundo as well for a short while, but I don't think they were going for that one. So Gaming Gear, that is their team completed. Just waiting for the final pick. This will be the top laner, we believe, that Rosie's waiting to select for Swiper.
And they do that every game. He's not going to pick a Teemo. The runes of this AD Lulu right now, if it is in fact going to be an AD Lulu, because he has 26 ability power, and then he's got the split penetration reds, so I think he's still going AD Lulu. It's just his ability power early will allow him so much bully potential in the lane. That's very interesting. And then, of course, armor yellow, because everyone does that. And he's the one who's actually known for Tryndamere.
So Swiper is going to be the Tryndamere in that top lane. Very interesting team build coming out from Immunity here. So wow, let's take stock. Let's take a look at this, chat, because this is a pretty wild one.
This is a very unique team composition from Immunity right now. They're actually very low on damage. They have to basically either win this early or just split push like crazy, because if the team fighting with the team this low on damage isn't. They're not doing AD Lulu.
You sure? You think they're going to switch it? I think they're going to switch it last minute. I think Rosie and Heavens are going to switch it.
Yeah?
I'm trying to look at... You can see Rosie. Rosie's the one on the screen now. I'm trying to peer into the camera to see if I can get a glimpse of his screen, see whether he's waiting to transfer in or not.
Thing is, the 26 ability power would make more sense on... No, they did switch it.
They did switch it. So Heavens is on Lulu, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. And I think they knew that. Yeah. I think they'd done the research. They'd seen that AD Lulu. He had actually played AD Lulu in the grand final of the qualified to get here. So we weren't sure whether that was simply a case of they had the confidence or they knew they were already going to get victory. But it seems that is their go-to guy when they need to win.
I can't wait to see that as well. And just as far as getting back to the overall team composition discussion for these guys, they need to basically dominate their lanes more so than ever, and then just keep pushing along those same grounds, because if they go in a team fight phase, once again, it's kind of the same story of last game against an Orianna Zac, just combination if they wanted, or just the fact that both those guys bring so much team fight presence. They just don't have the damage to touch Zac if it gets to that point.
We like to call it the ball delivery system in Europe. That's what we call it the
Ballista combo.
Ballista.
Zac and Orianna.
I see what you're doing there. I see what you're doing there. If you have just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Wildcard tournament, the International Wildcard tournament. It is actually Gaming Gear from Lithuania representing the Commonwealth Independent States, and Immunity from Australia representing the Oceanic regions. Of course, these regions are the emerging regions in League of Legends. They don't have themselves a professional scene just yet. Well, they do technically, but not on the same par of the LCS or OGN or the LPL. So right now, this is their chance. This is how they get to the Season 3 World Finals, and the winner of this game will be through to tomorrow's final against either Pain Gaming or Dark Passage. That will be happening later on, but right now, it's all about Immunity's in vain, and more importantly, Immunity's AD Lulu.
Yeah, and one game, as you said, Immunity is out and Gaming Gear is through, but Immunity still needs 2 wins if they want to make it all the way back. Pulling out this strategy now could not be more bold, in a sense. Tryndamere plus Lulu, so it's a Doran's Ring start for what we think is going to be an AD Lulu. It could just be an AD Lulu, and that's not the way you start. Oh no.
Oh, is he going to get away? No, he's not. That's going to be, deadly start, because that's Mazarine that picked it up on Orianna. He's teleporting straight back. He's going to buy himself an item. That's going to be a really hard start for this AD Lulu. It's a second Doran's Ring.
Uh-oh. Don't run there by yourself in any game. Just don't do that as a Tryndamere, because if he runs through there and there's people there, he dies. If there's not people there, he saves a couple seconds, but there's no premium on time right now. Yes, it was a good play by Gaming Gear to be in that spot to get the kill, but so many teams run into the jungle there to get wards in the red buff, and with this much on the line, you have to have the presence of mind to take the safe route around. That really hurts Immunity early on.
Yeah, it's one of those things, so why do you even go that route? Because they had no vision.
There's no reason to go that route.
Yeah.
In a best case scenario, you catch Gaming Gear rotating down and you know that they were there. But you can assume they were there anyway based off of where your own wards have been. Just not the best start for Immunity. They have to come back from that now.
Well, they had to come back before, of course, because it was Alicia that got pressured early on last time around, and another advantage given to Gaming Gear. They're going to be taking that red buff of the enemy jungle again. So Aluna has gone in, he's taken that red, and I'll tell you what, there's no counter coming out from Immunity. This is a really good start by Gaming Gear.
Yeah, they knew they kind of lost control of the jungle to begin with. When they gave up the first blood, there were already wards there, and additionally, since there was a 2v1 in the top lane, that they were just kind of giving up that red buff themselves. But since Immunity has an AD carry support bottom, they can just go and get the same thing.
Well, they're trying to get the dive actually onto Swiper. Swiper having to spin away from that one, and it does mean that Gaming Gear are going to keep pressure. This is going to be a hard lane for Swiper on that Tryndamere in a 2v1.
And this is very smart what Gaming Gear is doing to Tryndamere right now, because they know that for Immunity to win, Immunity has to take control of the lanes. And right now, Gaming Gear's not even hitting the turret very much. They're mostly letting the turret deny creeps and farming. They can give essentially full denial onto Swiper as long as he stayed in that lane alone, which is why we're actually seeing an initiated swap by Immunity, which overall will put them a little bit down in experience and have an even bigger hill to climb.
Yeah, we saw Alicia and Aluna passing by each other. Alicia actually, while that was all happening, did manage to gain a good bit of control from the jungle, so he's actually probably put himself slightly ahead of Aluna right now. He's going to take away the wraiths of his own side. He's already hit the wraiths of Aluna's side. Aluna himself is just about to hit level 4. So this bottom lane, it's going to be a level 1 Tryndamere up against a level 3 MBS. He should gain those levels back pretty quickly because MBS isn't going to be harassed as much as that duo lane would.
No, I think Tryndamere can at least survive a little bit here, but he's going into the lane at such a poor time. There's already a huge stack of creeps on the wrong side of where he wants him to be. He can't necessarily farm that.
Yeah, looking down the river, Aluna's already heading down there. There is a ward in there, but is Swiper going to be able to get away from this one? He already used Ghost to escape earlier on. Now he's going to have to try and spin away from this one. Aluna should be able to close the gap. He hasn't got vision on him. Now he's going to be able to get on towards there. Does manage to get the slash on towards him. One more hit. The 3-time strike comes in. They're going to flash for it. They're happy as the ignite. MBS picks up a kill.
And it's going from bad to worse here. Alicia trying to go in to help them. I don't know if he can make it to finish there.
No, he's not going to be able to pick up the kill, but it is going to be a kill in the top lane. Rosie goes down, and Spyro throws out that dark passage, and he is feeling very safe here against Radier.
So that is now 3 lanes that are put in a bad spot for immunity, as Radier is actually getting aggressed on right now.
Oh, he was getting aggressed on, but that's going to be Rosie. This is how he went down in that top lane. Straight case of poison. There was also the barrier burn as well by Deadly Brother.
So unfortunately during that replay we actually saw Radier get a kill back on Deadly Brother, so they did manage to kind of salvage their unfortunate 2v2 to get one back, and that's once again the light at the end of the tunnel right now for IM is that Radier can just somehow get crazy on Caitlyn.
Radier, of course, well, he was the shining light in the last match as well, of course. He was the only one in the lane phase that did manage to help out there. And let's not discredit Rosie. Rosie is a big part of that lane as well. Right now, though, we are looking at Heavens in this mid lane up against Mazarine. Mazarine, of course, getting that first blood at the level 1. Crazy bush face check from Swiper. They are Australian, so you know they're used to going in the bush, but didn't work out for Swiper.
Not quite. All that practice too, his whole life, just didn't work out for him. Running away in Tryndamere. This AD Lulu in the mid lane though, I don't want to call it an AD Lulu yet because he hasn't shown his hand. He's went Doran's ring. Hasn't done anything impressive against Mazarine. Being down a Doran's ring early definitely hurts him. And now he's getting aggressive because he
is just going to use his ultimate, but that's going to be the 3-talent strike. Will it be enough to knock him up? The ignite is running. They do manage to get a second hit, but now he's going to get the defense from Alicia. Alicia comes across. Oh, Heavens, are you really going to be let to go back there? I don't think. I think attack command would have come out from Mazarine. It still may do, actually, if they push that lane up. Heavens is not going to be able to back off. He's got to be careful. Attack distance might be enough damage.
Oh, no!
And sure as hell it is. I don't understand why he didn't back off.
Greed, most likely. It's one of those lazy things that you do sometimes, which you just can't afford to do in a game that means this much for immunity. That's another mental miscue, really, that's cost immunity multiple kills this game.
Well, this is the pressure of the big stage seemingly to show on immunity here. They talked about how it is to play in front of a crowd and how it is when they start picking up victories, start winning out, that the crowd gets behind them. But as it is right now, Gaming Gear have the crowd behind them because we are seeing Aluna once again putting pressure. Swiper has changed lanes again to try and get up against MBS, and it's going to be another audacious charge from Aluna instead.
God.
Swiper has to slide away.
He is getting heavily punished, and at this point, I almost feel like Alicia has to babysit, which is why he's coming up here now, because someone has to sit next to Swiper while he gets experience, because Gaming Gear has made it very clear they do not want Tryndamere to have experience, and they have denied him expertly up until this point.
Yeah, they know exactly what they've got to do against him, and look at the CS. It's 44-14, 30 CS gap already, 7.5 minutes into this game. Alicia is now finally going to back away, but every time he has to babysit in there, Aluna's coming in and taking his jungle, and it's the red buff invade again.
And it's just now, Swiper hit level 4. Zach is level 7. It's not even a competition at this point, and they're using the advantage once again. Aluna knows how to play this early game. Any small edge he's able to punish for a while.
Well, Mazarine came up and helped out defending that one as well. So he's going to keep the pressure in that mid lane as well. Actually winning out pretty heavily on the CS, as you would expect. The fact that Heavens did go down, and of course Mazarine picking up that first blood, now 2-0. Just uses that defensive shield and turns it back around on Heavens. Heavens not really able to put any trading damage there.
Yeah, so it's clear he's going for the AD Lulu now, obviously, because he just picked up 2 long swords. See what he turns those into, but it's still not working out for him or for his team. They are down more in this game than they were in the last one, and I know they talked about how on the Oceanic servers they they knew how to come back in games because they just knew they were better than teams that could farm out. They kind of have to do the same thing again and just farm out against these guys, but GamingGear is much better than the teams they're used to playing.
Well, it seems like it's down to Radier once again. Swiper's trying to get to his turret, but it is. MBS is all over him. He hasn't got his ultimate. The Ignite's running. It will be another kill for MBS.
That's not good. That is not good for Tryndamere. That is amazing for NBS right now. He's having a great time on Zach. Just Giant Spell has his ultimate against a little baby Tryndamere who's level 5, can barely even dash away from him. Zach is going to be a very big problem, and there's the Thresh Game, beautifully executed.
Thrown out, Aluna's going to try and get him. What a great grasping route though coming out from Rosie, stopping that attack dead.
Whew. They burned a lot to get that. That's why Rosie likes Zyra so much. Very well-timed grasping routes, locks down a Thresh Gank that burned Flash as well, so good survival there, and that's Immunity's strong point clearly is their bottom lane.
Mazarine is absolutely controlling that mid lane. Alicia was trying to just help out and hold it off, but even he couldn't come close to Mazarine. He's just dominating it. Hits level 9 now, continues the pressure, and don't forget Orianna, he's going to be able to take those turrets down fast.
Yeah, Orianna, especially when Immunity has effectively no real jungle support right now with Alicia, because I feel like he has to be babysitting Tryndamere. He's been getting so heavily counter-jungled by Lunar, and Lunar's made so much opportunity that again, they're just trying to make a big play, burn everything, just get the flash.
Yeah, mistimed actually on the ultimate there. Didn't actually manage to get the knock-up Alicia, trying to go in instead. Now it's going to be the turnaround shockwave on Alicia. They're trying to keep the damage on towards Luna. Alicia's gone a bit greedy here. He's going to get back on towards Mazarine. Glitter Lance is not going to land.
One more.
Ignite comes in. There's the attack ball for Mazarine. Gets himself another kill. He's 3-0.
Ooh, this is just going from bad to worse. 3,000 gold lead now. Not even 11 minutes into the game, and the instant Heaven's return to lane, he's got a sliver of health again, so he can't necessarily stick around. We've seen what happens before. Mazarine will just pick him off.
Grasping route on Inspiro down that bottom lane. Look at Radier though. The damage on towards the turret, they have managed to get it. It's a glimmer of light once again by Radier and Rosie in this bottom lane. It's the only lane that seems to be winning out against GamingGear every time, but that's the mid turret going down by Mazarine.
It's not a good trade mid for bottom necessarily, especially when your jungle is at such danger from a Lunar Xin Zhao. Radier and Rose are doing all they can right now. They really have to play risky and overly aggressive to try to make something happen.
A great grasping route, didn't quite land. Deadly Brother stealthing himself up to get away from that one, but Radier's built over. Peacemaker did find his home. Now they're going to turn it around. Audacious Charge is going to catch on towards Radier. 3 Talon Strike coming out. Luna will get the knockup. Stranglethorn's used at the back there. Rosie trying to keep Deadly Brother away from this one. Put the Ignite down. Is he going to have enough? No, Rosie's going to go down. It's a double kill for Deadly Brother. Passive is going to catch on towards him though. Does manage to catch out just in time. It was the actual plant he laid down there.
Barely able to pick up 1 for 2, but that was still a good play for GamingGear. They got a kill onto the only person at the time who had a kill for Immunity, just trying to keep Radier down as much as possible, and that was because Radier had to make an over-aggressive play. They were pressing, over-pressing really, and it was a great time for Luna to go down and punish it.
Meanwhile, with Swiper trying to do anything to keep himself in there. Does have level 6, finally has that Undying Rage to keep himself alive through the pressure that MBS has, but look at it, he's only just hit 7, while MBS, he's backing off at level 10. He's about to go get himself a Sunfire Cape, or is he? No, he's just going to stick around. Elastic Slingshot onto Swiper, cause all the problems. Let's Bounce being popped onto Swiper. Really wants to try and create him, force that ultimate out. He's not, yes he is, the Ignite goes down. He's going to have to use that ultimate to keep himself alive. And then MBS, of course, has that passive. He's quite happy to dive the turret. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Heavens, he's going to get caught out once again by Mazarine, but it will finally be the kill. Mazarine goes down, shutdown bonus to Radier.
Wow, 4 and 1 there for Mazarine. Best person to go for gold there for Immunity, getting 500 as well. Swiper surviving NBS's aggression there as well is a good sign for Immunity overall. They need to take that little bit of edge they have here and get a strong push onto this turret.
They're not afraid to turn any little win into an objective, and that's what they're trying to do in this mid lane, trying to keep the pressure down. Remember, of course, Mazarine already taken that mid turret. Oh, that's going to be the fly on towards Alicia. Alicia having to get away, and once again, Rosie's grasping route, saving the day.
Right on point with that Sour, but because they're trying to make that play happen in the middle, of course they lose the bottom lane to Deadly Brother, and the double kill that was given to Deadly Brother previously let him get that Blade of the Ruined King already. So at this point, Radier can't even fight Twitch, despite how well he did against him for most of the laning phase.
See, the problem with this lane phase, how badly it's gone, that Immunity needed time to farm. They needed to sit there. Heavens needed time to get that AD Lulu going. Swiper needs time to get Tryndamere going, and they just haven't been gifted that. And GamingGear, that's why they push their towers, it seems. 3-1 in turrets already, all of the 8 turrets down.
And it's so strange because they picked very strong laning champions. Lulu needs time to basically, yes, get the AD Lulu going, but you need time winning the lane to make the advantages felt. In an ideal world for Immunity, all their lanes were winning, Alicia was going around counter jungling, and everyone was pushed up all the time, and Alanir didn't have enough things that he would be able to go and do. But because, like, I just can't say enough how negative that first blood Swiper had was, because it lost him the lane because he died straight up, but it also hurt Heavens in lane because the kill went to Mazarin. Could not have been worse.
Could not have been worse. And look at GamingGear. It's potentially a 5-man stack towards his top lane. The red buff, they have the timer on it. Luna's been in there every single step of the way. NBS is pushing. Oh, look, Alicia finally does use that Dragon, the Demacia standard to check it out. He's in the hole actually on Deadly Brother. They may catch on towards him, but the Crane, the defensive ball for Mazarin, just timely.
So they're trying to make some plays right now still, but they can't stick around 5v5. That's why GamingGear is just trying to charge them.
A lot of damage backed off there, and they do have good kite potential. Heavens, of course, can slow people down. MBS maybe trying to catch on towards him, but a quick glitter lance, will it be enough? Heavens quickly speeds himself up, turns back around, tries to kite that damage, keep those basic attacks going. Oh, death sentence flung out, not finding its target. This is buying time for Swiper though.
Yeah, Immunity's trying to get as much farm time for Swiper to make it so he can at least compete on the level of MBS, but GamingGear trying to take advantage of the opportunity and push up middle.
And there's going to be the plants defending out there. Luna taking a couple too many tower hits. That's going to force him low on health, and I don't think they're going to keep too much longer on
There's
this one.
dive.
As it is, it's going to be, there's the Stranglethorns. MBS uses Let's Bounce, doesn't really catch on towards anyone, and Inspiro's going to go down. Luna takes a couple of tower hits there. They could continue to chase. Look at there on the bottom lane though. Swiper's on the inner turret.
This is fantastic for Immunity. It's difficult to dive onto a Zyra. That's one of the things that completely cut off GamingGear, and the time is of the essence right now for Swiper. He's really getting some work done down bottom.
Heavens keeping the pressure down, but there it is. That's actually the second turret of the game, so both outer and inner turret now down on the bottom lane. All of the outer turrets though available, but Swiper with this Tryndamere, has he bought himself time? Has he got himself back in the game? Goes for the red buff.
Why does this seem to be the story with Immunity? They're getting obliterated in the early game by GamingGear, and then they're finding these small opportunities to come back. They're very good at playing from behind, but at the same time, we know GamingGear a little bit later in the game is even better at making adjustments. So this is surprisingly similar to the previous 2 games we've seen these teams play against each other.
Exactly, it's 4,000 gold differential between the teams. We said it before, GamingGear were 5,000 up, and Immunity managed to bring themselves back into it that time around, and it was all on Radier. Radier at the moment, 3-1-0. Is he going to buy himself the rest of the team some time? Heavens, they have very good wave clear, to be fair. Immunity, they can really push those lanes when they get themselves time, but Heavens is going to get caught out 3 times straight, has to use his ultimate to try and pop them back there, gets a good glitter lance on a Luna, that will slow him down. MBS not able to elastic slingshot, but does manage to get the slowdown. Grasping Rune not going to find his target. Heavens is not going to be able to get away from this one. That will be a kill for GamingGear.
And try as he might, he couldn't make it away from all of that chase from GamingGear. Great kill being able to pick it up onto Heavens and just try and keep him down, but to kind of get back to your point of Immunity having very good wave clear, if Heavens is alive, they have very good stall potential while Swiper is off split pushing, which is why that kill was so crucial for GamingGear in getting this turret.
So that's going to be the inner turret down on the mid lane. GamingGear pushing on here. They may well try and go aggressive.
They have some time.
Tries to go in there. They're going to try and get some damage on towards that. It's actually elastic slingshot from MBS, but he backed straight away from that one. He realized the wave clear was there, but he's still buying time. Swiper is not backing off this bottom lane.
And even with all the time he's had, he's still 2 levels behind and 30 minion kills NBS. That is just how horrible the early game was for Swiper and how much he was punished for that. Think of how much work he could be doing if Immunity, or if GamingGear hadn't kept Immunity down so well in the early game.
Well, Immunity are going to try and get themselves a 3rd turret, and actually may get it. Only MBS here to defend this one out. Deadly Brothers making his way back up, but the team's office, of course, with Radier and Heavens both putting work down. They may try and turn aggressive on towards MBS here. Well, they should have gone for the turret though, because Heavens is going to get locked out. The tower's on him. MBS, of course, has his passive available, takes the Dark Passage, and just slides away.
Another win there for GamingGear. Zach able to just go in and be a monster. We knew that Zach was going to be a huge problem for this Immunity team comp, because even with the entire team wailing on him, they couldn't take him down. They only got him low enough to get his thresh lines. It didn't even get a Zach passive out of it. And they didn't get the turret, so a failed move there by Immunity.
I don't understand why they didn't just finish off the turret and then back away.
Would have been wise.
Leave MBS alone. We're not going to be able to kill him. We don't really have the damage right now. Back off. But hindsight in 2020. And at the moment, Swiper, he's trying to split push the second lane. Realized he can't quite get up towards the inhibitor turret in that split push move and keeps putting pressure. They need to start getting some of those global objectives and getting the overall golden experience for the team.
It's still going very well for GamingGear. The gold lead is increasing. Late game team fights actually are in their favor as long as they don't get overly split pushed by Immunity and let Tryndamere get back into the game. There's a bit of worry in as Heavens is constantly getting caught in weird positions.
He's completely out of position. 3-ton strikes about to strike. The play comes in as well. Heavens, you are not going to survive this one. And that is the second time Heavens completely caught out of position, and he's going to give GamingGear the dragon.
0-5 now on that Lulu. You can tell he's really pressing hard. Like, he's trying to run down and shove out the lane, and he's trying to take shortcuts, whereas they're consistently getting punished by taking shortcuts. GamingGear knows all of them, and they're just meeting them there.
They are punishing them every step of the way. The Oceanic team here on the big stage are starting to wilt against the Lithuanian GamingGear. This is the semi-finals, the international wildcard, and of course, facing off to get in towards that finals tomorrow for a place in the Season 3 World Finals. And don't forget, we could be seeing these guys up against the North Americans, the Europeans, and of course the Koreans and Chinese. They're going to be the big ones that everybody wants to look towards. GamingGear keeping the pressure on though, shoving on, but that wave clear is still very strong for Immunity.
Yeah, if GamingGear wants to dive, they basically have to do it without minions, just because Lulu and Caitlyn plus Zyra are too strong at keeping these minions back. All the while, Swiper is still going to be split pushing, and GamingGear is saying they don't want that to actually get out of hand. They're going to go deal with this.
Yeah, he's continuing to keep that farm going. Still hasn't caught up with MBS though. Gosh, still behind. He's just really got nailed at that first lane. GamingGear though, they're going to get themselves another dragon. That's actually going to stretch the gold lead, and it is really starting to climb now. This is going to go to 7,000 gold in 21 minutes.
And GamingGear is playing this game very smartly. They actually haven't made too many plays as they did in the last game, because if we think back to the first game they played of this series, GamingGear took advantage of very specific windows to go and make plays. But at this point, like, the whole house is unlocked and there's windows everywhere, because every time Heavens is just in a bad spot and they're able to pick up kill after kill, which is increasing their gold lead.
Is he going to be able to buy himself time? He's got a Luna and Deadly Brother tracking him down, but I think they've just given up. They're just like, well, you can go.
He's worthless actually at this point. Like, an 0-5 Lulu is not worth the time to go and kill. At this point, GamingGear should actually be going and making something happen on the map, because they know Heavens isn't there.
Yeah, they may well try and create that. As it is, they continue to track him all around the map.
Maybe this is actually a good play. Like, if it distracts them this much, it's worth the runaround.
Technically, it's buying time for Swiper to continue farming. He's about to face check in towards MBS once again. And MBS, well, he has got the damage to some fire cape. He's just stood on top of him. Oh, the death sentence comes in. The flame follows through. He is going to use his wild growth to try and bounce them out of there, but it's going to be Heavens going down. He may have actually just baited Swiper into dying on this one. The last exchange shot comes in. He just gets squished there, and now Swiper's in trouble. So he's actually baited his own teammate into this one. He's going to try and turn it around. He gets himself a kill on Inspiro, and he may have the damage on towards MBS here. He's going to have to get away. No, now he's in trouble. Deadly Brother shows himself. There's going to be the sling spin, and Dying Rage is going to come out, and Deadly Brother's just going to kite this one out. You're not going to be able to take down that rat no matter how hard you try.
The team is still here though. This is a big fight.
Well, they're going to come in. Radier is going to come around, but they are scared because the slow comes down. Radier is in trouble. All of this has been baited by Heavens, the mid laner. He just ran the ring around GamingGear, but it is backfired horribly. And GamingGear pick up kill after kill. It's 3 for 0 in that whole exchange.
Yeah, we know that Immunity is not one of those teams to wait around and let someone beat you, which is why they keep trying all these foolish maneuvers to try and get back in the game, because it's not a wait and see. They constantly try to make plays, and GamingGear is just punishing them every single time for that.
It is not a good time if you are an Australian right now, because GamingGear are really taking it to Immunity. They are going for the Baron. Stranglethorns comes out. They're not going to be
steal.
out. We see Alicia is going to slide in. Is he going to land the smite in the right time?
He
got it. He manages to take it out. He's going to get down, taken down, but it does give the team the Baron.
Wow, of all the things to happen after all this game, I mean, make or break team. He's going to make something happen at that point. Alicia, they both went for the smite. And Lunar just smited early.
Just mistimed it, which is ironic since he had that level advantage. He was a level 12. Just didn't quite have the timing down. Alicia doing a great job of getting in there. Didn't have flash, of course. He'd already used it just a moment before, so he had no chance of escaping. It was purely a death to try and steal it away, and it was worth it. It gives Baron to immunity. It may give them long enough to just hold out, sustain. It's going to be a 4-minute Baron timer, of course, and it's going to buy time for Swiper on Tryndamere to continue farming in the top.
It gives them a bit of a new lease on life, but they have to realize how unhealthy they've been this whole time right now. Because, I mean, Mazarin has the big items that he wants on Orianna right now. That's not going to change since Immunity picked up a Baron. Zac is still a monster tank at this point that Immunity doesn't have damage to take down. Even Deadly Brother is 7-2 at this point because he's picked up so many garbage kills around the map just chasing Immunity down. Even though that Baron helps, Immunity still has to make substantial plays. This by no means tells Immunity that they can now go around the map and they got the Baron, let's go win a team fight. They're not in that position yet.
Maybe it was a little foolish for GamingGear as well. I know they'd picked up a couple of kills and they thought, yeah, we have a great situation, but they forgot the fact they hadn't taken down the jungler. And once that jungler's around, it always gives that opportunity. And we've seen games turned around, even massive deficits turned around by that simple Baron steal. And Spyro, though, he's going to help out in Deadly Brother in that top lane. Deadly Brother having a very good game here as well, remember. This is not actually played that well against Immunity over the last few times. Radiant has really had his number in the lanes.
But now it's actually a Lulu split push down the bottom lane, whereas GamingGear has no one sending back at this point. No one back at the base. They're sending someone back. No, they
canceled it.
They still have canceled. Now Zac's going back again. Miscommunication about who was going to go back. They're giving up a lot of turret damage to Heavens here and not getting anything back for themselves. They don't want to dive on a Baron team, but they didn't send someone back soon enough.
And Heavens may actually get the inhibitor turret here. He's going to stick around. We see MBS coming in there. He doesn't really care if he dies because he's 0-6-3 already. He's quite happy to suicide.
He wants to go for the inhibitor.
He's going to keep on going. He's not going to be able to have enough damage to take it down, I feel. He's going to actually kite out MBS very hard. Doing a lot of damage to MBS here. He may actually be able to turn this one out. And MBS suddenly realizing that actually this is not going my way. And Heavens is putting a hell of a lot of damage down on me. Meanwhile, Deadly Brother has taken down Rosie, but look at Heavens. He's going to get that passive popped. Yes, he is. And Heavens on AD Lulu 0-6-3 has turned it around. He's going to get the kill on MBS. I think MBS is a bit surprised himself, and this could be the inhibitor. And Immunity, well, they're going to get the first inhibitor of the game. What the hell?
I think they're going to run back and actually stop him from this. But that was amazing by Heavens. No one knows how AD Lulu works more than Heavens does, and it definitely surprised NBS. A 4-0, oh dear, Zac.
Shockwave on Radier. Radier just getting melted by Mazarin in that mid lane.
Oh no.
A small victory for Immunity. They actually didn't get the inhibitor down.
They got the shutdown bonus though, which means Heavens is worth gold again, which could be a bad thing. He got 500 for himself, gives up a 300 back, and then that doesn't stop Mazarin from having that type of damage on Radier. That was an oh dear moment.
Swiper is going to get this turret down, but he may well pay for it with his life. You can see a Luna and Mazarin, they're closing the gap on towards him. He's going to have to try and do some funky mechanics to get out of this one. Go towards the Triburst, spin away. But you see Mazarin, he's cutting him out. He's ready and waiting for this. And actually Mazarin's pretty low. Swiper might turn his aggression on towards him. He's on his own here, and it gets off Tryndamere. He's going to have an undying rage. He forces the flash from Mazarin. Not too sure what the plan was there for GamingGear, but they are going to get a dragon.
GamingGear is continuing to have a pretty big lead in this game, but the duelists of Immunity are actually showing some pretty impressive things right now. Swiper is doing a great job of avoiding GamingGear. Is he fast enough?
He's got 3 levels over him. He could just turn this around. Luna's actually putting the pressure on him. He's spacing it away. Now MBS is there. He's going to have to spin his flash away through the wall. Is he going to be able to buy himself time? Nope, just explodes.
But because of all those shenanigans, Immunity took down the mid turret. You can see they're just completely 3-lane pushing constantly, and they're trying to disengage in the mid lane, whereas Heavens and Swiper are supposed to be 1v1ers. This is how the Immunity comp was envisioned by them, and if they hadn't fallen behind in the lane, you can see how effective it could have been.
Chaotic, aggressive lane pushing is what's working for Immunity, and that's going to be Minions shoved on towards that exposed inhibitor, remember, in that bottom lane. Every time Heavens is going to try and buy himself time, and Gaming Gear are having to respond to this. Their game plan is being skewed here because they want to just group up and push, but it's not working for them because they have to keep dealing with this exposed bottom lane now.
Yeah, they're just not willing to pull the trigger. You could tell they were going for the Baron so that they would have the confidence to dive. But when that Baron steal happened, it really just delayed everything for them. I'd still expect them to try and get the lanes to a point where they feel safe going in the mid to dive, and that's what they're doing right now, because you can see their wave is pushing the top lane, and they're all collapsing in around Heavens.
Well, he's running back up that mid lane. May get caught out by MBS. MBS is close towards that, but I don't think he's going to go for it instead. He's got the support of Rosie, and this would be a heavy dive on by Gaming Gear if they were to do it. They are thinking of launching onto Heavens. The elastic slingshot from MBS, not going to go for it.
But this is that dangerous turret to hold that. Even though they're on the other side of the map last game, that's where they lost their big fight that basically lost them the game. Learn from that mistake, Immunity, falling back to the base, which is a much easier turret to defend and wave clear from.
Another great grasping route, locking up Gaming Gear, acing a hole on towards Deadly Brother. Piltover comes across. They got that great wave clear, and they're buying time for Swiper in bottom lane.
Can Gaming Gear dive 4v5 and make something happen? They have to go on the next wave, otherwise they're going to lose far too much. They have to make up their minds right now.
They are waiting for the wave clear. It is buying time. The death sentence not landing, and Swiper's pulling down some really good damage on towards that turret. He's gonna get another inner turret down, and Swiper and Immunity are doing a great split push job here and just holding off wave after wave of Gaming Gear's attacks.
Zach went back to base, decided not to dive. 6 turrets to 60, man, in a 20-6 game. There's no giant strength on Immunity here, but they're split pushing strong. 1-5 Tryndamere and a 1-7 Lulu are still enough threat to draw Gaming Gear back.
They're going to catch out in Spyro here. Rosie's been landing some great grasping routes. He's going to use the box, but it's not going to be enough. Stranglethorn does come down there because Deadly Brother picks up the kill. They get the Cataclysm, the Shockwave pulls him in. Zyra's going to get the kill on there. Rosie does manage to get down, but Ray Deer's also been taken out. Swiper's going to have to try and get away from this one. Wild Growth comes out from Heavens. He's going to turn it back around. And Spyro being so aggressive, using that lantern to try and catch on towards him. Heavens is going to get down the bottom. He has to flash away. He just gets melted by MBS, and Luna doing work now. He's catching back in there. This may be the chance, the Gaming Gear, to get that inhibitor.
And who was catching whom in that fight, because they just got that turned completely around. Mazarin is out of control right now on Orianna. That was a huge turning point in that fight, and they absolutely have enough to break that inhibitor wall and get this one down.
So they do manage to get the first turret down. Can they get the inhibitor to follow? Will Immunity back in there? I feel they're going to hang around a little bit here. Rosie now in. He's going to maybe try and get a grasping route on someone. They want to defend this one. He does manage to lock up an MBS and a Luna, but the rest of the team now coming in. Can they get some exit kills? Rosie's going to get another grasping route down. Alicia's looking to slide in, but Gaming Gear will back away successfully.
And now Gaming Gear seems to kind of be back in control. This is kind of similar thing that happened last game, but let's check out this fight actually. It seemed like a good idea, but Deadly Brother killed Rosie in about half a second, and then so many shields came on top of him that he still got enough damage out, and they all grouped up around the Orianna ultimate to really just take him down and destroy that fight.
Well, meanwhile, they're taking the Baron. You can see Alicia's going to get caught out here, has to slide away. But
they don't want him stealing this one.
They've got to be careful of this one. Alicia is still around. Flash was just burnt out there. We see Luna back on towards him. Alicia continuing to be that pain this time, and they have locked it up. Gaming Gear with the Baron.
That was a very interesting way of stopping it because double smites are up. All the while, though, Immunity trying to get an inhibitor back. Everyone on Gaming Gear recalling freely.
They're going to get this inhibitor down, so that's actually 1-for-1 trade. Inhibitor for Baron's always a risky trade. Gaming Gear going to try and chase onto this one. Great little glitter lance there from Heavens. This game is not over yet.
Immunity's pretty crafty. That's the one thing we have, because they have not had any type of real edge this whole game. Look at the score lines. They got a 1-8 AD Lulu, a Tryndamere who was denied level 3 at about 9 minutes, and then Ray Deer, who was trying desperately to stay up on Caitlyn, but is up against a 10-kill Twitch. Yet, they've taken 6 turrets and an inhibitor because they're just savvy with the way they're moving around the map. This is the most dangerous point of the game for them, though, because the inhibitor they took is the lane that Gaming Gear is pushing. So there's no minions that are going to be helping them out, and there's no split push started for them. Tryndamere was thinking about going mid, but this could be a straight-up dive for Gaming Gear.
Yeah, they could get in. He's backing off right now. That's a good grasping route from Rosie. He's going to buy them time, but Death Sentence followed in by Inspiro. They all launched themselves in here. Radiant was the target. Rosie's still actually very healthy around there. Inspiro is going to get taken down. That's a support for support. It's Radiant that picks up the kill. Now Mazarine has to be the target, but he pulls out the shockwave in there. Rosie's still trying to get away from this one. Deadly Brother has been taken out by Swiper. He's going to spin his slash back in there. Luna now focused. He's going to get locked up. This is turning into a great fight for Immunity. They go 3 for 1.
Are you kidding me? Like, this is a ridiculous team. How are you going to count this team out? Yes, they've lost 2 in a row to Gaming Gear, but they are not making it easy on them. That was a dive gone wrong for them. Everyone on Gaming Gear got trapped in and outside of the base. Zyra and the turret cut them off, and we said they have to dive without minions due to the crazy wave clear of Immunity. Tryndamere got in the back of that fight, crushed down Deadly Brother, and that is just a huge boon for Immunity's confidence because they got rid of Gaming Gear's Baron and repelled the push.
And there's going to be another inner turret. You can see Swiper and Radiant, they're just going to chop down these turrets in no time at all. And wow, objective after objective being picked up by Immunity. It's 7-7 in turrets. They are actually equal, and they both only have an inhibitor down. That was a bound-up Gaming Gear attacking on the turret that went horribly wrong for them. Everything seemed to get in the right place, but they just weren't close enough. And wow, Immunity, they're sticking around.
This game is something else right now. International wildcard tournament, bringing in some different strategies. Australia clearly does not want to be counted out right now because they have every reason, or had every reason, to just give up in this game. They were down so much, they'd lost so many objectives, but they keep pulling off these very, very clutch plays that are barely keeping them alive.
And looking at that last fight, it was all about Swiper. He'd gone in the back line of Deadly Brother. There was no defense for him because they've not needed to defend Deadly Brother. But Swiper just melted him. He's actually got such a strong Tryndamere build now that he is going to cause some serious, serious damage on even MBS.
Yeah, 253 farm, getting a couple big items. He's going for an Infinity Edge next. If he gets to that, Deadly Brother's going to be in some real danger. Yeah, I don't think Heaven's minds. He's already died 9 times in this game, even if they're chasing him down.
Well, he's going to keep trying push and actually tries to speed himself up. Does he realize he's pulled? Okay, more importantly, he has pulled them all in. There's a hell of a lot of wards on there for Gaming Gear, by the way, on the map. I was just looking at that. Wildcard's going to come out from Heavens. He realizes he's got all of Gaming Gear here, and now Immunity, they're trying to push up the mid lane, but Gaming Gear are close enough to cut this one out.
See, Heavens died too close to the rest of the team. If they're going to be trying to pull off a Heaven split push strategy, they need to have Tryndamere in the opposite lane, not the adjacent lane. And this actually gives Gaming Gear a really good chance to just push up and try to catch someone. Wow, what a shot!
What a death sentence there. Radiant is going to go down. That may be what Gaming Gear needed to try and turn this fight around. The inhibitor is about to respawn in that mid lane, but more importantly, they're pinging all on that bottom lane.
Yeah, and with 2 people down this time, I think this is a much safer dive. It doesn't matter for them that they don't have Baron. They're just going to go for this one.
Yeah, Gaming Gear going to run in. They're going to tank this one straight out. No doubt about it. Swiper's actually going to get caught up here, and Inspiro follows through on this one. The shockwave comes out. They do manage to lock up Swiper. They're forcing him away. He's going to have to try and use that down range if he keeps the damage down, but it's the turret that they get, and that's going to be the second inhibitor of the game for Gaming Gear. The middle one has just respawned, and they're just going to rotate around and pick that up for free.
Yeah, it seemed like one split push too many for Immunity, but again, last-ditch effort. They have to hold here.
Immunity go in. Stranglethorns lands perfectly. Luna's going to get taken down. Deadly Brother on the back though. Spray and pray all across Immunity, and he is doing work. Heavens, he tries to come in. They're trying to lock him up, but they can't get on Deadly Brother, and Spray and pray just melts down Immunity.
Deadly Brother just opened up and blew everyone away on Immunity right there. They didn't get the inhibitor though, and they're going to have to back off.
Oh, the ace in the hole lands. Rosie might be able to get a grasp of it. He does find out towards MBS, and that may well be the death of him. Alicia sliding in, but not getting the lockout, forcing the flash from MBS. Gaming Gear having to back off, but that was only one inhibitor they got. They didn't get that middle one.
Saving the second one is ridiculously key for Immunity as far as trying to split push around here. But as we saw, once Heavens died there, the death timers are becoming a little long to pull off these extended split pushes, because even if he dies on the other end of the map, he's most likely dead long enough to not be able to defend his base. It's becoming very tricky for Immunity to push down, because even though his build is kind of progressing in this really weird way, by the way, Blade of the Ruined King, Spirit Lizard Elder, makes sense. Now he's going for a Iceborne Gauntlet. He's most likely just trying to be as annoying as possible at this point, because clearly he's been making GamingGear a little bit annoyed with the 11 times they've ran around and killed them. He's just trying to become as annoying because he's clearly not an asset in team fights.
Yeah, and this is actually the first time that GamingGear has basically opened his head. Let's get all 3 lanes pushed up so we don't get caught out by that backdoor theory that seems to be working for Immunity. This time they've had to deal with every single lane. Heavens is already backing as well, so he's not going to get caught out. Maybe this time around. Finally, the team may have said, Heavens, I know you love AD Lulu, but you're 2-11-5. It's not working.
And this time as well, GamingGear doesn't have to worry about diving past the turret because they have the exposed inhibitors up already. This could be the dive that works for them, and they're going to want to go. I wonder if Immunity is going to try to jump the gun and hit them before they're ready.
Well, you see them traps going to catch out. Radier gets hooked in. Is it going to be enough? They come flying in towards him. It's going to get defended out. Cataclysm comes out. He hasn't died just yet. Then Swiper gets around on towards Deadly Brother. He's trying to put work in there. Has to stealth himself up and die in rage. Has he got enough time? Has he got enough damage? No, the barrier comes out and he does go down. But Radier took down a Luna in the same time.
But everyone for GamingGear peeled back to get Radier, which actually meant the tank from GamingGear was down as well. I think they have enough strength left, though, that they're confident still pushing this one up. However, look at how healthy everyone on Immunity is. They're scaring them off the base yet again, D-Man.
But the super minions in the bottom lane that are pushing in, GamingGear are going to back off. Baron has just spawned, so they need to get the wards down there to try and cover it off because they could get caught out by Immunity trying to sneak something out. But instead, it's GamingGear trying to sneak the Baron.
Yeah, this is a very good thing for them to be doing right now. It's essentially uncontestable because Immunity doesn't want to just go into the open and fight GamingGear yet again. Mazarin's Shockwave was also up, and you commented on it before, but that is still a lot of wards on the map.
But that was a risky Baron because Alicia could have gone in and followed through. They didn't have the jungler, so they had no smite.
He could have, but they had a lot of wards in the jungle, even so, and the last time they actually did the Baron, they didn't even make it a smite war. They actually fought Alicia outside the Baron pit with their own jungler. They could have just done that with NBS or Mazarin and just sniped him out if he came through because they knew they'd be strong enough to fight. That was a Baron if they don't come, a fight if they do. It was never about a Baron steal for them.
Nevertheless, it is a stalwart defense from Immunity. They were so far behind so early on, and they are still in this game. 40 minutes gone. The resistance of Immunity seems to be very, very strong. You can see 29-13. They have been massacred in kills. They've been caught out everywhere they go, but they have kept it close. 8-7 in turrets. They got themselves the inhibitor. Of course, GamingGear's inhibitor on that bottom lane has respawned, which is why the super minions are now becoming a real issue for Immunity.
And look at what Deadly Brother's done. He's essentially tried to make himself a Tryndamere magnet with a Thornmail and then a Giant's Belt, saying, I'm doing enough damage, I know my team is so far ahead, and there's no way Immunity has a team fight phase that we're worried about. He just has to make sure he's not dying straight up to Tryndamere, and he's went with 2 full defensive items here as GamingGear tries to push on now with this Baron buff.
GamingGear coming in that top lane. Remember, of course, the inhibitor in the bottom is down. The middle one isn't actually down. It's exposed, but they haven't gone towards it. Instead, they want to try and put pressure on. They need to catch out Swiper, who does get hooked in there. That's the box used by Inspiro. They're going to go aggressive here, but they don't have one ultimate. Shockwave actually lands on Radier. Doesn't take him down. Uses that barrier. The spray and pray doing work from the back, but they are locking up. And Luna's going to go down. Now MBS is the next target. Immunity are doing pretty well in this fight at the moment. They're going to get the lock on towards it. Ace in the hole comes out. They successfully defend it, and now all their inhibitors are back up.
1 for 0. Incredible investment onto Radier to try to start that fight, but he survived. The Baron is regenning them, though, and they're sticking around despite the 4v5, chipping away at that turret.
They are going to get the turret down, but now Immunity is going to go aggressive. Inspiro is going to burn down there. The MBS is going to get caught out. He gets locked down. That's going to be the passive burn. Will they waste time on towards him? Yes, they will. Manage to finish off that kill. They have to get across the super minions on the inhibitor in the bottom lane.
Let me tell you, GamingGear has to earn this one. These last 2 games have been a fight from start to finish. Based off the start of this game, there's no way you're thinking this goes 42 minutes, and there's no way you think Immunity makes this many last-ditch holds. For about the last 15 minutes, every push that GamingGear takes into Immunity's base could end the series. But every time here, Immunity's coming up with just enough to hold them back, but not turn around the game. It's just going and going.
And that was against a Baron up team again, GamingGear with their Baron. They don't still quite have enough to get in there, but now there's no turrets in their way. GamingGear have exposed every single lane, and Immunity realize that they're going to have to get creative on that next defense, which is why you're seeing Radier trying to put out all those traps and keep the minions at bay, so force them to have to really work their way in. There's a lot of damage on immunity, though, to just put some harass down. If Mazarine or Deadly Brother just get caught just that once, they will be popped. But the fact that the Guardian Angel's now on Mazarine is going to become a problem.
I don't think Deadly Brother's going to get popped anytime soon with that 253 armor. It's like a tank twitch right now. He tricks you when you dive on top of him because you're actually just going for a tank at this point. It's a bit of a weird build on him, and he's actually getting outpaced in damage by Raydir, but it's only because it's all physical damage coming from immunity. He has no reason to build magic resist, and everyone's just trying to tank up as much as possible for these next few pushes. I feel like GamingGear is going to eventually break this super extended siege, but at the same time, Raydir has built a lot of damaging items now, and he's at that point on Caitlyn where he can actually take on a lot of people as long as Mazarine doesn't catch him out and kill him.
GamingGear pushing in the bottom lane. There's minions also coming up that mid lane, but the Quave clear is still strong for immunity. They don't really care about it though because it's just an exposed inhibitor. They have to simply find the right pick. Luna continuing to try and take out, use that defensive ball and take down those Caitlyn traps, but he gets chipped down. He just lost 1,000 hit points. That's all it was. I mean, it looks small, but that was 1,000 hit points gone down in just that couple of seconds.
And you can see how much damage Raydir is actually doing, as well as just the sneaky amount of poke that comes out from him. It's double blade the Ruined Kings will chip away at the tanks when they're going down there. Here's another window, though, for GamingGear to go in, because Jarvan's not near.
They spot Alicia away from this one. Immunity, ironically, they're the ones that push forward. As soon as their jungler is away, they pushed in on towards GamingGear. They spotted Luna is not there either. So both junglers away from this one, a straight up 4v4 brawl.
It's got to happen soon. If they get a death sentence onto Raydir, that's what started the last few fights. Raydir is playing so far up because they need him to repel these pushes, but actually it's Immunity who decides to go.
Stranglethorn's what's used, Swiper gets on, it's Inspiro that's the target. There's going to be the knockoff, it's going to be enough though. Raydir gets focused on the back there, MBS tries to use Let's Bounce, but that's going to be a kill. Swiper goes down, they got Deadly Brother though. That's the turnaround they may need, but look at this. Immunity are falling, GamingGear trying to get on towards them, and MBS launches himself on towards Heavens. Remember, he is an AD Lulu. He has got a lot of damage, but that's going to be the bottom inhibitor down. And GamingGear, they have 3 members to 2 right now, and they should be able to clean this one up. Look at Rosie.
But they want multiple inhibitors. They've never been able to get them in the past. Nice shot there by NBS, and I don't know if Heavens can hold them off. He's trying to run out with home guards.
Heavens comes out there, and you can see MBS and Mazarine both very low. The Dissonance catches on towards Heavens. They lock him up there. Luna trying to catch on towards him. The 3-time strike. Alicia is doing what he can. He needs to get back on towards him. He gets melted. Dissonance is enough damage from Mazarine now. And now Alicia, the last man standing for immunity. The Nexus turrets are exposed. They need to get on towards them. Luna has enough to tank it up here, but they're going to have to back away because look at the spawn timers.
Alicia on full tank Jarvan trying to hold out just a few seconds so Raydir can come back up, doing everything he can as GamingGear is just crushing down those Nexus turrets.
There's a lot of damage on Mazarine. He's got to be careful he doesn't lose that Guardian Angels. Luna also taken low. So Alicia doing the job, goes across, gets on towards Luna, forces him back. So immunity hold on, but their base is completely under siege by minions.
I feel like that was the last one before the final one. Just this time, they've lost too much. Every single chip that GamingGear throws in, they get something. It's either one turret, one inhibitor. This time they seem to get a lot. They still didn't get the Nexus turrets down, but because there's 2 inhibitors, I feel like, and with the Baron coming up, I feel like they can go around, get the Baron, get the 3rd inhibitor, and then kind of slowly move in onto immunity. It's been quite a hold, and I have to give them so much credit for staying in the game this long. But it does seem like this has got to be the end for them soon.
The Australians soon. The Australians don't seem to know the meaning of giving up, and they're certainly not going to be surrendering anytime soon because GamingGear have certainly taken their time to get in this one. They know that the Baron is the next objective, and I honestly don't think they're going to be able to fight for it. No, they're going to let GamingGear have it, or more importantly, they can't do anything about it.
Yeah, it's been so long since Immunity has been allowed to leave their base. I'd have to say since well before the last Baron was actually taken by GamingGear was the last time Immunity's even been past like their own blue buff, where they have that one ward. That's like, the ward that Immunity has in the blue buff is the point that they have not moved past for the last 10 or 15 minutes of this game. They're going to try to hold this one off. They have a lot of damage on Swiper's Tryndamere. It's a max item Caitlyn. Even Heavens' 4 and 12 AD Lulu seems a little bit scary, but then if you just move your eyes to GamingGear, it's just a whole nother level of pain right now as they're going to push in with this Baron buff.
And Luna, the frontline tank, and that Guardian Angel's now on Deadly Brother means Swiper can't sneak on through and try and get on towards him, but the fact that he is a tank, effectively, with yet more armor, I suspect, stacked in there with that Guardian Angel. MBS bouncing up and down in his balloon form, is going to slowly push in. It's all about that elastic slingshot, which he's not even remotely charging up yet.
Not even needing to do it right now. I think they're just waiting for super minions to arrive at the Nexus, and then they're going to look to chip down this third inhibitor. It's all a waiting game for these guys. Once again, 49 minutes, no rush.
Radier stepped away. He's on those super minions as well as Heavens. Now they're going to go in, and that's Alicia engaging while his AD carries are not there. They're getting on towards Mazarine at the back. They're trying to put the damage down. Swiper, though, the exhaust doing the work. He's going to have to use that Undying Rage. Sonya's Hourglass going to time it out. He gets on towards Inspiro, but it's not enough to take down Heavens. Now you can see the rest of Immunity. They're in all sorts of trouble. They're taking so low. Deadly Brother coming in. That AD carry, Mazarine in there. It's a 2-for-1 so far. That's going to be Radier's Guardian Angels pop. Deadly Brother ready and waiting to pounce the moment he spawns back on there. He is going to get caught out. He's going to get in there. It's not quite enough, though. Heavens turns it on there. Mazarine still with his Guardian Angels. Alicia, they have to try and do something about Deadly Brother because those Nexus turrets will fall with him on them. There's going to be the second one down. They get back onto Deadly Brother. The Guardian Angels has been popped. Immunity are going to hold out just for a couple more seconds. But they have nothing left in the base. That's double super minions coming in the knocked up back door. Immunity, they're holding strong just about.
D-Man, this game is surely going to end on the next push. Right? What does Immunity have left? Nothing. Everything is gone for them. Only their Nexus is there. 50 gold worth of buildings left that GamingGear hasn't been able to take down so far. Slow and steady is going to win the race for these guys. I'm willing to call that one, but Immunity has put up a world-class fight in this game. That last fight was so close, and a lot of it happened in the last game too. Like this 10,000 gold lead has held steady for an absurdly long amount of time, but the fact that Immunity hasn't been able to turn any fight completely around, only part way around, has meant that GamingGear just gets to keep accumulating their advantages. It is a little curious that, you know, Deadly Brother has been essentially max items for quite some time, as has Mazarine. It is giving a little bit of comeback potential for Immunity, and as you can see, Radier is actually just going 5 full offensive items, trying to do whatever he can to hold this off, and if their inhibitors respawn and they actually hold off the double super minions, maybe there's a chance they can hold this one off because they went with more aggressive offensive builds versus a bunch of tanks, and eventually that outscales. I don't think it's going to happen, though.
Well, who knows?
Who knows?
You say those two inhibitors now up. GamingGear have themselves another job to do. This time they don't have that Baron available, which they did have again for the third time, and they made that attack. It backfired again. Immunity hold in strong, and you know, we haven't really talked about the fact that Rosie has become this effectively mage.
Yeah, Rosie is just stacked a whole bunch of items. That's another threat they have. You're right, I realized how much ability power he's actually sitting at right now, as the fight is going to surely break out almost any second.
They're trying to push on towards MBS. They have managed to lock him up, but he's so strong in defense there. Alicia diving in. He's on Deadly Brother in his Spyro. Swiper comes in. He tries to get him towards Deadly Brother. He's not really helping, though. Having to use that Undying Rage. He hasn't got the damage on Deadly Brother. They're going to try and catch him down. Meanwhile, down the side, Luna does get taken down, so that's the tank versus the top laner being taken down.
Yeah, but Immunity keeps their people healthy at this point, and there's still a Shockwave by Mazarine. That could be the turner. It doesn't hit the AD carry.
Shockwave only goes on towards Heavens, but it's going to be Radier that gets focused. Radier's going to get dropped. He gets poked in there. Deadly Brother in the back. Rosie takes him down. The support laner, who now becomes the mid lane aggressive champion, does manage to get the kill, but Inspiro comes in. They surely haven't held on now. Alicia, the last man standing against GamingGear. Super minions are everywhere. GamingGear are going to be into the International Wildcard final. Immunity have put up such a great defense, but honestly, it is GamingGear that have looked in control throughout the game. It took them a hell of a long time to do it, but they are the champions, or, well, maybe. They've got to go semifinal. No passage just yet.
That was the most impressive hold I've seen that a team hasn't come back from. The amount of time Immunity spent an inch away from losing that game was very impressive in their unfortunate defeat. That's a tough one to lose, knowing they held on for so damn long, but could just never turn it around. Gaming Gear, they earned that one.
It's a tough time for the Australian fans out there. They got destroyed by the Aussies, by the English, sorry, in the Ashes. They got destroyed by the Lions when they toured Australia, and right now they've just been destroyed by the Lithuanians here in the semi-finals. But they put up a great defense. Ray Deer, who